Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Michelle Solis from This Must Be Inc. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Seekonk, Massachusetts. And it is Friday night, February 20th, 2026. Welcome to my Stamp and Sip workshop, where the weekend starts early. I don't always stamp on a Friday night, but when I do, I'm stamping and sipping with all of you. So tonight we are going to be doing a Z fold that has like a card within a card. So it's a little surprise inside your Z fold. Super easy to make. And so let me show you how it's done. So grab whatever you brought to sip on and take a sip, and we will get started. I am just drinking water tonight. I hope that's a big cup. To be anything else, but just water tonight because I have a lot to do to get ready for a workshop tomorrow. All right, so I am going to turn on this light, bring this down, and let's flip this around and get lined up here. All right. So this is the card that I showed as the sample. Oh, hang on. What's happening? There we go. This is the card that I showed as the sample card. And this is using the Charming Day stamp set. And what was this called? This paper. Hang on. This is, I think, a retired paper called Floral Charm. So this is the one that I used to do what I call is like my prototype, so that I can remember what I've done. And so I worked it up in this paper with this little stamp set and die. So it's a Z fold, so it will open like that. And you've got the two panels here. And then it's got a little card that opens this way. So it's a card within a card. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you like the card. Yeah, that's pretty paper with this little floral set. So this set, I'm going to use the dies from this set again tonight because the dies are still available. They're called the Charming Day dies, and they just have some amazing little pieces that they cut out. There's this beautiful floral piece that we're going to use tonight, and it's got some different leaves, and it's just one of those that is just a good one to have in your collection because it cuts out some great pieces that you can use by themselves on cards. All right, so that's the card that we're going to make. Very simple, as I said. So let's get started. I'll show you how to do it. All right, we'll put that one aside. So you're going to need a piece of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm using tonight, I'll move up a smidge here. Tonight I'm going to use basic white. This is basic white thick that I'm using for this card base. And we're going to cut that at 8.5 by 5.5. So basically right in half. Hi, Courtney. And then that piece we're going to score twice. So we're going to score it in half here, which is 4 1/4. And then we're going to score this panel in half, which is 2 1/8. Okay, so then we're just going to fold this. When I fold a card, I guess I could do it up to the top so you can see. When I fold a card, to get it really square, I put it up into the corner of my trimmer. And so I make sure that everything is lined up. And then I will press this down to get a nice square card. And then this second score line, you're going to fold that back. So you can do the same thing. You can press that up into the corner of your trimmer. Make sure that it's lining up. and then give that a good burnish with your finger. And then when I get done with that, I burnish it again with my bone folder, just so I have a nice crisp fold there. Okay, so as I said, this one has a card within a card, so you need that second piece, and that is going to be 10.5. I want to say 4. Yes, 4 by 10.5. So that one you will score in half again at 5.25. So that one is going to fit inside your card like that. Okay, so there's a couple more pieces that we need. We're going to need some mats to go on these two panels. So these two panels, the mat is going to measure 1 7/8 by 5.25. And then your designer series paper is going to be 1 5/8 by 5 for both of those. And then your big piece of designer series paper is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. And that's going to go on the front there. And then if you're going to put in a piece of a sentiment piece in the middle, in the inside, it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 also. What happened to the one I cut the right size? Ah, good question. I thought I cut one. Well, we'll have to cut one. Hang on. All right, so 3 3/4 by 5. I don't know where that disappeared to. All right. 3 3/4 by 5. There we go. So that will be for the inside. Now the paper that I'm using tonight is this gorgeous paper. It's an online exclusive and it's called Lovely and Beautiful. And it is beautiful. It's got some foil in it, which I think is really pretty. The foil accents are just gorgeous. So the first thing I'm going to do is adhere my designer series paper to my little card. Okay, so that's going to just line up on the front there with a border around all sides. This paper is just gorgeous. Just really reminds me of spring, and I love that. And then I'm going to put my piece of white inside. So we have someplace to write a message. And I've got a little die for inside that comes from the Charming Day dies. And just put a little bit of glue on there, and we'll just add that to the inside of our card. Okay, so that's going to then get inserted and adhered here to this panel of your card base. Very simple. But I really like the way that this stands up, because when it stands up, when they open it, it'll be folded and they'll unfold it. But when it stands up, it opens. So you see both sides of the paper, and it's really pretty. All right, so then what I'm going to do is get my mats on here, and I want these mats to line up with the edge of this card. Okay. Sometimes easier said than done. Sometimes I'm better doing things horizontal. Okay, and the reason I didn't adhere my designer series paper first is I want to make sure that the designer series paper lines up with this designer series paper as well. So we're going to get these cardstock mats on here first. And make sure they're all lining up. Then we'll add our designer series paper. Okay, and again, I want to make sure that this edge is lining up with this edge. There we go. And then the second one. And that's all it takes to make this card. It's very simple, but it's really a pretty card, I think, and it uses both sides of your paper. So you get to see some pretty prints. So there you go. So it'll go like this and then open to that card. All right, so now we just need to decorate this panel. I've thought of a bunch of different things. So I took the designer series paper and I punched a circle. This was the 2 3/8 inch punch that I used here. Hi, Jan. Hi, Betsy. Thanks for jumping in. And so I've got this little circle that I could use and put my sentiment across. So that was my first thought. And then I decided, well, maybe I could even use a floral piece to go here as my little panel for my sentiment. But then I remembered this gorgeous die. So I think I'm going to go with that. This is from that Charming Day dies set, and I just love it. And it is still out there. It is still available for who knows how much longer. It's on the last chance list. And I think it's like $14 now for these dies. And I think they're a great buy because I have used them so much since I've had them. They're just beautiful. All right, so I'm going to add that right there. Hopefully I didn't get glue on the parts that are sticking off. So there's my flowers. And then I'm just going to make a sentiment for that. All right, so I pulled in the Fabulous Sayings stamp set. This was the January product of the month. If you didn't get this product of the month, you can probably still get it. I think it is still available. And it's a beautiful stamp set with a lot of different sentiments. So I think that I want to use something skinny so I don't cover up my whole die there. So I think I'm just going to do To a Fabulous Friend. All right. Let's find To a Fabulous Friend. This is going to be kind of long. Oh, I think it'll be fun. All right, let's find a block. And maybe some fresh freesia tonight. If I can find it. There we go. And I'll try my fresh freesia. Hopefully this has some ink. I don't think I've used fresh freesia since maybe last summer. It's funny how you get into certain colors for certain times of the year. You don't use a lot of purple in the winter time. Well, I don't anyway. Okay, I'm going to cut. This is too long for me to cut with my scissors and get it straight. So I'm going to put this in my trimmer. And I am going to just line this up. I can see this cutting track on my trimmer, So I'm going to put that where I think it should go. And then you can also look through the top of your cutting track here. Make sure you're not going to cut any letters there. And there we go. So To a Fabulous Friend will go right here. And I think I'm going to use some dimensionals. We just want to put them on the left-hand side here. Okay. And then we just have to find some embellishments. I hadn't thought about embellishments. There we go. Maybe since it's got gold foil in the paper, maybe we can use our gold butterflies. Those seem like the right thing to do. I need some more gold butterflies before they're all gone. Okay, so we get our little butterfly here. Oh, let's make him go this way. And then a second one, maybe over here. And maybe a little one over there. All right, so we've got our embellishments there. So what do you think about that? I think it's a nice little card. It shows off your paper really nicely. And I think that it stands up really pretty to display. All right, so that's the card for tonight. Here's the one with that Charming Day set that I did for my prototype. And then I have a couple more to show you. So this one I did with the Hobby Haven paper. I love this paper too. So I used the sentiment from the Notes and Totes set for this one, Relax and Enjoy. And when you open that up, it says you earned it. So I thought that was a cute one too. And then of course I made one for Easter. This one is with the Easter Joy paper. And then these little images came from the Easter Time Mix and Match ephemera pack. So a little bunny on the front there and your little Easter basket on the inside. And then we just stamped some Easter eggs inside there. So there you go. All right, so that's it for me. There's the cards. It's hard to get them all in there. All right, so let me get turned back around here. Oh, goodness gracious, so many things. There we go. All right. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that. I'll put them up on the website so you can tell me which one is your favorite. All right, so I needed a quick card tonight because I have a workshop tomorrow and I'm still getting ready. I still have to cut some more paper. And I have some treats, of course, because I always have treats, and I have to finish those up. So that's it for me tonight. Everybody have a great weekend. I hear we're getting more snow on Sunday night, so that's always going to be fun. All right, everybody be careful and stay crafty, my friends. I'll see you next week.